Good afternoon, students. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll get started. So there is one last topic that is left out for us. What is it? It is AC generator. Yes. Right. So after we finish AC generator, we can go to the next chapter because AC generator is the building block or the continuity for the next chapter. Okay. So is there any other doubt you guys have from the topics that we have discussed till now?
No doubt, sir.
So write down the heading as AC generator. You're able to see my screen, right? No. Listen. So now the topic is AC generator, right? So what do you think is an AC generator? Name itself is suggesting, right? AC stands for alternating current, and generator is a device which is able to generate something, right? So the question is, what does an AC generator produce? What does it do?
Alternating current.
Yes. So an AC generator will give rise to an alternating voltage. Okay. In the sense, we had been discussing in this whole chapter that electricity is induced with the help of magnetism, right? When will that happen according to Faraday? When the flux is equal to BA cos theta. If any of the parameters change with respect to time, then yes, you will be able to generate the EMF according to the formula minus d phi divided by dt. Right. So you can do this according to the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Here, if you observe, we had different topics, right, where the flux was changing due to any one of the parameters out of the three from d, a, or theta, right? In this context, what is going to happen is EMF is generated due to the change of the orientation of the coil. Okay, if you're able to change the orientation of the coil with respect to time, then you can make this flux as a function of time. Then when you differentiate, you will get a non-zero value of EMF, and you can use that output to generate or to run certain electrical devices, right? So let me read out the points that are given in the textbook. So the phenomenon of electromagnetic induction has been technologically exploited in many ways. So if you take an exceptionally important application is the generation of alternating current, right? So the modern AC generator with a typical output capacity of 100 megawatt is highly evolved machine. So a lot of evolution has taken place, and in today's world, we will be able to generate an output capacity up to 100 megawatt. Okay. So in this section, what we are going to do is we will describe the basic principle behind this mission, and it was invented by the scientist Nikola Tesla. Okay, and he is the one who is credited with the development of this mission. Okay, now the principle on which it works is again electromagnetic induction. So as simple as that. That's it. So the principle on which an AC generator works is electromagnetic induction. Means if you are able to create a change in flux with respect to time, yes, you can generate magnetism. sorry, if you're able to create change in flux with respect to time, yes, you can create electricity. Okay, that is a principle. So here, let me show you a small animation on how it works. Then we will go to the derivation part. Okay. So what did I say in this context is changing? It is the orientation of the coil that is going to change. So have that in your mind. B is going to be constant, A will be constant, but what is going to change? Theta will change with respect to time. Okay, now see.
An AC generator is an electric generator that converts mechanical energy to
So here
electrical
what
energy.
conversions of energy takes place is mechanical energy is basically converted into electrical energy, right? So when I say mechanical energy, there is some kind of rotation or translating motion that is going to take place, which in turn will convert that into electrical energy. How is it going to happen? Let's see.
In the form of an alternating EMF or alternating current. Working principle of an AC generator.
So the working principle is again Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, but they will show the animation again. You can have a look at it. So there is a coil with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns, and there is a permanent magnet. When this permanent magnet is passed through the coil, see what is going to happen in the galvanometer.
An AC generator works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. In electromagnetic induction, when there is a relative motion between a coil and a magnetic field, an electric current or EMF is induced in the coil. Parts of an AC generator.
So this is what is important.
An AC.
So flux is dependent on three quantities, B, A, and theta, right? Here, since magnetic field is constant, we need a source which is generating a constant value of magnetic field with respect to time. That is why we have two permanent magnets in our hand, where one is taking care of the North Pole and the other is the South Pole. Okay, so there is a coil that is placed between this North and the South Pole. See what it is.
Generator has an armature.
So this coil, this wooden color thing that you're able, the brown color thing that you're able to see is called as an armature coil. Okay. So armature coil is the one which is going to revolve when that handle is there. No, the handle is called as shaft. When that shaft is revolved, this armature coil will revolve with the magnetic field, so that there is a change of flux taking place with respect to time due to its orientation with respect to the magnetic field.
It is a rectangular coil with many turns, wound around a soft iron core. A shaft, it can be rotated rapidly. A field magnet, it may be
so
a
there is
strong
a field magnet that is used. It's a strong magnet.
Magnet with concave poles.
So there are two
slip
rings
S1
that are
and
used. The slip rings are in turn connected to the carbon brushes.
S2. These are connected to the armature and thus rotate with it. Two brushes B1 and B2. They provide electrical
so the carbon
contact
brushes
with
are
the
there,
slip
right? They
ring.
are the ones which provide the electrical contact between the generator and the load. Here the load is a galvanometer. The place of galvanometer, you can think of some electrical circuit or an electrical component like a tube light, fan, bulb, whatever it is. Okay.
And a load, which may be a galvanometer as shown. Working of an AC generator.
So
when the
you tell me only one thing,
rotates,
guys. At this instant, what is the orientation between the coil and the magnetic field? What is the value of theta in this case? Guys, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Now, how is a coil with respect to the magnetic field?
It's perpendicular to the magnetic field.
90 degrees, sir.
Think and tell me.
0 degrees, sir.
It is 0 degrees. Right? So it is going to be 0 degrees. Now see. At this instant,
poles of the field.
the angle between the magnetic field and the coil is, the areal vector is 90 degrees, right?
Yes.
magnet,
Now see, it
the
keeps
magnetic
revolving like this,
flux
right?
linked
So
with
here it is going to be 90 degrees. So what I can conclude is at every instant, what is happening? The orientation is changing with respect to time. As a result of which, the magnetic flux linked with the coil will also change with respect to time, right? This is the reason why there is an EMF induced in this coil. Okay, let's say the coil is revolving about its axis with an angular velocity omega. Okay, these are the slip rings, and this rectangle cuboidal structure is there. No, those are the brushes. Those are the carbon brushes. Okay, and you have the north pole and the south pole, and the coil is present here. Guys, just give me a minute. I got a call. Okay. So when it is revolving with an angular velocity omega, what is going to be the angular displacement of it? Can I write theta is equal to omega t plus half alpha t square? Now what will happen is this armature coil will revolve with a constant angular velocity, means the angular acceleration will be 0. So from this I can conclude that theta is equal to omega into t. Clear, guys? So theta will be equal to omega into t. When this is the scenario, can I write that the flux is equal to BA cos theta, or flux is equal to BA cos omega t? Guys, are you able to understand this point? So flux is equal to BA cos theta, or it is also equal to BA cos omega t. But what will happen here is the armature coil will have n number of turns. So flux will be equal to NBA, and here also it will be NBA cos omega t. Now, if you differentiate on both the sides, d phi by dt, then what do you get? You get it as d by dt of NBA cos of omega t. So this will be n into b into a into d by dt of cos omega t. Now, what will this give you, guys? NBA into, what is the derivative of cos omega t?
Cos omega, sir.
Minus sin omega t into omega. Okay. So this will be minus NBA omega into sin omega t. But we know that EMF is equal to minus d phi by dt. Right? Whatever we got is d phi by dt. So EMF will be equal to, if you put a minus sign there, it will become NBA omega into sin omega t. Okay? Where this NBA omega is what is called as E naught. Hence, E will be equal to E naught into sin omega t. This is the value of alternating EMF that is getting generated due to the AC generator. This is the value of alternating EMF getting generated due to the AC generator.
Sir,
Tell me.
sir, when you differentiated the cos omega t, no, sir, t should be removed, no, sir, while giving the differentiated product.
Why?
Sir, because
Y is
differentiating
equal
it.
to sin 2x means what will you do? Dy by dx is sin 2. Will you write it like this?
Sir, and then why did you multiply omega there, sir?
Chain rule. So dy by dx is cos 2x into d by dx of 2x. Chain rule, no? Because it's a composite function. It is not sin x, so it is sin 2x. I hope you understood. So that
Okay,
is why it is 2 cos 2x. So E will be equal to E naught sine omega t. Is everyone clear with this, guys? Any doubt? Any other technical doubt that you have in the derivation? Shall I proceed?
yes,
Now
sir.
see. So if I take the stage 1, the plane of the armature is perpendicular to the magnetic field. If this is the kind of orientation that is present, just give me a minute, guys. Sorry. So in this case, the value of theta is equal to 0 degrees. So when the armature has rotated through an angle of 90 degrees, then what will be the orientation? Theta will be equal to 90. Because in this case, the aerial vector is like this. In this case, the aerial vector is like this. I hope you remember this. For a two-dimensional structure, the area is always taken radially outward in any of the directions. Initially, for the sake of our convenience, we will take it in the direction of magnetic field itself. So here, what will be the direction of aerial vector? In this direction. And again, it will be in this direction. And at last, it will come in this direction. Right? So theta is equal to 0 degrees means flux will be equal to BA. Here the flux is 0. Here the flux will be equal to minus BA. And here the flux is again 0. And here the flux will be equal to plus BA. I hope you guys understood why it is so. Because cos 0, cos 90, cos 180, cos 270, cos 360. Right? This is all about flux, guys. This is all about flux. Right? Okay. Now, what is the value of EMF that has got generated? E is equal to E naught sine omega t. So you can write it as E naught sine of.
So I have a doubt, sir.
Tell me.
So when theta is 90 and 270, the current changes, right?
Between it is not at 90 and at 270. It is between 0 to 90 it will change. So this at 90 is one of the instances. Correct? So theta is equal to 90 degrees, one of the instances. Let's say it has happened after 2 seconds. So that is the meaning. Okay.
Okay.
But yes, current will change, provided after this 270 degree, the coil is still revolving. If the coil stops exactly at 270, current will not get generated. Means for current to get generated, the coil should be in a continuous revolution. That is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, sir.
So this should be equal to E naught sine of omega can be written as 2 pi by capital T into T. Can I write it like this? Right, omega is equal to 2 pi by T. 2 pi f or 2 pi divided by capital T. Now listen, guys. So at T is equal to 0, what will happen? What will be the EMF? If you substitute T is equal to 0 here, what will be the EMF?
0, sir.
It is 0. At T is equal to T by 4 means after 1/4 of the revolution. If you observe, between 0 degrees to 90 degrees, it has completed 1/4 of the revolution. So at T is equal to T by 4, what will happen? E will be equal to E naught
E naught.
sine 2 pi by capital T into T by 4. T and T will get cancelled. 2 and 2 will get cancelled. It will be E naught sine of pi by 2. So what is E naught sine of pi by 2? It is going to be
E naught.
not itself. So what has happened is between the time interval 0 to T by 4, the value has reached the maximum following the graph of a sine function. Okay. Now at T by 2, what will happen? Means the coil has started here and it has completed half a revolution. So at T by 2, what will happen, guys? So E will be equal to E naught sine of 2 pi by capital T into T by 2. So T and T will get cancelled. 2 and 2 will get cancelled. Again, it will be 0. Means the value of EMF will decrease sinusoidally and it becomes 0 at T by 2. Am I clear till this point? Please make a note of all these points. If there is any doubt, please ask.
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Tell me.
What does capital T stand for here, sir?
Capital T is the time period of the revolution.
The small t, sir?
Small t is the instant.
Small t is instant and big t is the duration.
Not duration. See, duration. T by 4. Yeah, T by 4. Yes, you can call it as duration. It's a duration between the start and the end of 1/4 of revolution.
Okay.
So I can put it even more simple. Capital T by 4 is a time where time at the instant when it has completed 1/4 of the revolution. T by 2 is the instant at which it has completed half a revolution. Like that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So next, what will happen? Next, you will have E is equal to E naught sine of 2 pi by capital T into, when it has completed 3/4 of the revolution, the time period will be 3t by 4. So at 3t by 4, what will happen? T and T will get cancelled, 2 and 2 will get cancelled. It will be E naught sine of 3 pi divided by 2. Answer will be minus E naught because sine 270 is minus 1. So E is equal to minus E naught. Means what is happening at this instant is the EMF is decreasing and it is decreasing to the least value in the negative. It is decreasing to the maximum value in the negative direction. So maximum value in the negative direction is nothing but the other side of the peak value is minus E naught. So it comes here. Then again, let's see what is going to happen after one time interval. So E is equal to E naught sine of 2 pi by capital T into T. T and T will get cancelled. It will be E naught into 0, which is a 0. So from minus E naught, the value is again increasing back to 0. So this is the kind of graph that is followed. Am I clear, guys?
Could you show the diagram for a second?
I'm showing you that. Which diagram? This one only. No? The
Yes,
graph.
sir, that one.
So you can make a note of this in the textbook itself if you have.
And T equal to 3 by 4 T, sir,
Mhm.
where E is minus E naught. There we say it's the opposite direction of the current, right? So it's at maximum.
Yeah, the direction has got reversed. See, for example,
At that
here,
time, which is the direction, sir? RS or QP?
it will change. See, for example, when it went from 0 to T by 4, let's say the current is flowing in the direction of PQRS. Okay. Then when it went from T by 2 to 3T by 4, it will flow in the reverse direction. That is,
We'll go from
in this
S or
case,
QP, sir.
had it gone in the direction of clockwise in the initial stage, from here to in the negative cycle, it will go in the anti-clockwise direction.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So that is the meaning of alternating. So the direction of the current will change with respect to time. Okay, since you asked, I will show it. Wait. Show you a simulation.
So I also have one more doubt, sir.
Tell me.
At T equal to T by 2, epsilon is equal to 0, sir. That means no current is there at that instant.
Yeah, at that instant current is. It is only at that instant.
Okay, sir.
So I got the generator. See. So I hope you guys are able to see, right? Now see, I have a magnet and there is a coil and which is connected to a bulb. See what will happen if I use the energy from fluid. Observe the electrons, know what is happening. Observe the direction of electrons. Is the electron continuously revolving in one direction?
No, sir.
No,
Change.
sir.
So when North Pole is coming close, if the electrons are revolving in one direction, when the South Pole comes, it is revolving in another direction, right? But look at the flickering of bulb. So it is very slow. This is what actually happens at our house also, because we are also receiving alternating current value. But the frequency is maintained in such a way that this flickering will happen so fast that we cannot see the flickering itself. Now see, if I increase the speed, what is going to happen? Right, you're able to understand. So this is what is going to happen. There are many other parameters also which are controlling, but look at the direction of the electrons. So this is the meaning of alternating current waves. I hope you guys are able to visualize it, right? So this is what
Yes.
exactly happens inside a galvanometer also. See, this is what happens. Okay. So how is this going to get changed with respect to time? Is it will follow the sinusoidal function. That is the meaning of the equation. E is equal to E naught sine omega. Is there no? So E is equal to E naught sine omega t is there. Basically, it's a sine graph. So if you draw the induced EMF as a function of time, if you take 0 to t as a complete cycle, what do you mean by complete cycle, guys?
One revolution.
One revolution. In one revolution, what is going to happen is, initially, since the flux is maximum, okay, flux is maximum, but initially since the flux is not changing with respect to time, what will happen is the EMF will be 0 and it will increase till the time T by 4, and after T by 4, at the end of T by 2, it will become 0. And from T by 2, again it will start increasing, but in the negative direction, and again it will become 0. Okay, that is why we call this as positive half cycle. So it's called as positive half cycle, and this is called as negative half cycle. Okay, and what will happen is this kind of a graph will keep continuing with respect to the whole time. So that's why it's a sinusoidal function, but the graph will not be this big. It will be very close because the frequency will be 50 hertz. So it will be closer like this. But to show a graph clearly, we have taken one cycle to understand what exactly is happening. So, are you guys clear with this? Okay. So generally in commercial generators, the mechanical energy required for the rotation of the armature is provided by water falling from a height, like how I showed you. For example, from dams. These were called as hydroelectric generators. Alternatively, what can be done is you can heat the water and produce steam using coal or other sources. When you do that, right, you will get the steam at very high pressure, and this pressure can be utilized to rotate the armature. So you need some form of a mechanical energy to rotate. It is not possible that you sit and revolve it every time, right? So when this kind of a generator is present, they are called as thermal generators because they are making use of the heat. Okay, so instead of coal, if nuclear fuel is used, we call it as nuclear power generators. So modern day generators produce electric power as high as 500 megawatt, which can light up to 5 million, that is 50 lakh 100-watt bulbs. Okay, in most generators, the coils are held stationary and it is the electromagnets which are rotated, like how I showed you. Okay, the coil is kept stationary, whereas the magnet was revolved, right? The frequency of revolution is 50 hertz in our country. In countries like USA, it is 60 hertz. Okay, so this is just an outline. Okay, so based on this, let's try to do one problem. Kamala pedals a stationary bicycle. The pedals of a bicycle are attached to a 100-turn coil of area 0.1 meter square. So capital N is equal to 100 and area is equal to 0.1 meter square. The coil rotates at half a revolution per second. So frequency is equal to half revolution per second. And it is placed in a uniform magnetic field of 0.01 Tesla perpendicular to the axis of rotation of the coil. What is the maximum voltage generated in the coil? So the maximum voltage generated is, see, we know the formula E is equal to E naught sine omega t. You need to be very careful here. Here E naught stands for the maximum value. But what is the expression which we replaced with this term E naught? E naught is equal to, you go and revisit the derivation, it is NBA omega, or you can also write it as NBA into omega can be replaced with 2 pi f. Okay, so this will be equal to N is 100, B is 0.01, that is 10 power minus 2. Area is 10 power minus 1. 2 pi into f is how much? Half. 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So this will become 10 power minus 1 into pi, that is 0.314 volt. So this is the amount of voltage that will get generated in this scenario.
So then what is E, sir?
E is the instantaneous current. Sorry, instantaneous EMF or voltage. Instantaneous value is E because E is a function of time, and E naught is called as peak value or amplitude. Okay. So that's all with this chapter, guys. The remaining problems, you try them out. If you have doubts, let me know. Okay. So with these basics, we will start the next chapter, that is alternating current. So I'm only going to give you a basic introduction of what we are going to do in this chapter. Okay. The main derivation and context will be discussed in next class. Okay. Yeah. So you guys tell me, what do you understand from the term alternating current? So what do you understand by the term alternating current, guys?
The current changes direction.
Yes. So bidirectional currents are generally called as alternating currents. Means if there is a current which is changing directions with respect to time, we call it as alternating current. Then what is direct current? It is exactly the opposite of it. So direct currents are unidirectional. So what do you mean by unidirectional? Their direction does not change with respect to time, right? So let's see what are all the topics that we are going to cover in this chapter. So we will first at first we will be studying about what is an alternating current. Okay. And we'll be studying about what is the average value of it. And we will see what is the RMS value of it. Okay. So these things are the first points that we will understand. After we understand those things, then we will see what will happen when you connect an AC voltage across a resistor, and what will happen when you connect an AC voltage across an inductor and capacitor. Okay. Also, we will see what is going to be the relation between the input and the output. That is, what is going to be the relation between the EMF and the current with the help of a diagram called as the phasor diagram. Okay. Then we will see the AC voltage applied across an LCR circuit, power in an AC circuit, LC oscillations, and transformer. With that, this chapter is done. Okay. So though the number of subtopics seem to be less, I would like to give a disclaimer. This chapter is not as easy as the other chapters. Okay. This slightly tough. I'm not saying it is very tough. It is slightly tough. So I want you all to pay as much attention as possible and ensure your doubts are getting cleared then and there. Okay. We will get started. So as I mentioned already, alternating current is that current whose magnitude changes continuously with time and direction reverses periodically. Means bidirectional. You have a positive cycle, you will have a negative cycle also. If that kind of a current is existing, we call it as direct current. Alternating current. Then what is direct current? Direct current is the one which does not change with respect to time. So one thing that is given in books is they'll give you a straight line like this and they will call it as direct current. Now I have a question. You guys use the logic and the definition. So is this a direct current or an alternating current?
Direct, sir.
It is direct current, yes, because this is positive, positive, and positive. So this is also direct current, but we call it as a fluctuating direct current. Okay, you will see this kind of a concept in the 14th chapter. At that time, you should not have a confusion. So have things clear in your mind that wherever you see AC, it means bidirectional, means you have a positive and a negative cycle. Whereas when you talk about direct current, it is unidirectional, means you only have a positive cycle or a complete negative cycle. Okay. So we also know the fact from the concept that we saw just now that when a coil is rotated in a magnetic field, an alternating EMF is induced in it, which is given by the relation E is equal to E naught sine omega t. Okay. Suppose you take this EMF and connect it across a circuit of only resistor. So let's say that there is a resistor like this and you connect an alternating source across it. Guys, listen, the symbol for alternating source is a circle and a wave like this. So this is the symbol for alternating EMF. Okay. Suppose this EMF is applied to a circuit with resistance R, then by Ohm's law, we can say that the current in the circuit will be I is equal to E naught divided by R into sine omega t, where that E naught by R is what is called as I naught into sine omega t. So if you observe, what you can tell is when the input is varying sinusoidally, what do you mean by sinusoidally? It can either be a sine omega t or cos omega t. Okay, most of them think sinusoidally means only sine omega t. No, it can also be cos omega t because cos is cosine, complementary of sine. Yes, you can say that. Right. So if you give the input as a sine function, the output will also come out as a sine function. Then we can conclude that the current in the circuit varies sinusoidally with time, and this is what is called as an alternating current. Okay. Guys, I hope the basics are clear, right?
Sir, what is I naught, sir?
I naught is peak value of current.
Sir, how will it
Wherever
be? How will it be given in the question, sir? Like what?
that
How will it be
is,
specified, sir?
they'll tell peak value. They'll say the peak value of current is this much, and its frequency is this much. Find the value of instantaneous EMF, instantaneous current. So they'll mention it in the first.
Okay.
Anyway, if we solve the problems, we'll understand it. Don't worry. At that time, I'll tell you how to take the keywords and solve. Okay. So it is given here. See, I is called as the instantaneous value of AC at time t. Okay. And E naught by R is called as the peak or maximum value of AC and is called as the current amplitude. Okay. You can either call it as peak value or maximum value. More technically, it is called as the amplitude of current. You know what is amplitude? Right? Amplitude is the maximum value. Right. The next term that we need to understand is amplitude. The maximum value attained by the alternating current in either direction is called its amplitude or peak value and is denoted by the symbol I naught. Okay. Next. The next thing is time period. So the time taken by an alternating current to complete one cycle of its variations is called its time period and is denoted by the symbol capital T. So the time taken by an alternating current to complete one cycle of its variations is called time period and is denoted by T. So this time T is equal to the time taken by the coil to complete one rotation in the magnetic field. So we saw the rotation of the coil. So it started at 0 degrees and again it came back to 0 degrees. Means the coil has completed one revolution. So that time period is given as the ratio of the angular displacement in one cycle divided by the angular velocity. So what is the angular displacement it takes in one time period? It covers 2 pi radians with an angular velocity omega. So t is equal to 2 pi by omega is the time period. Then what is frequency, guys? Frequency is a reciprocal of time period. F is equal to 1 by t. So it will be omega divided by 2 pi. Okay. So number of cycles completed per second by an alternating current is called its frequency and is denoted by the symbol small f. Okay. So these are all the terms that are related to alternating EMF and alternating current as well. Okay. Now I'm going to discuss one important point here. That's called as the average value of AC over one complete cycle. So write down the heading, guys. One minute. Yeah, this thing. So it's called as average value of AC over one complete cycle. Okay. There's a slightly technical one with mathematics involved in it. Observe. Okay. So this is one complete cycle between 0 to t by 2 and t. So generally, whenever you talk about one complete cycle, the time interval between the initial and the end point of one cycle is capital T. Okay. See, for example, what I mean by that is, let us say here also you have something like this, positive and a negative cycle. This will be 2t. So the time gap between t and 2t is also going to be capital T. So the time interval between the endpoints of one cycle is always taken as capital T. Have this in your mind. Now, what is our job? We need to find the average value of this AC over one complete cycle. Okay. So how to find the average value? For that, this will be the formula. I average is equal to, so wherever you see average, what comes to your mind? It is the mean value, right? So whenever you calculate mean, what will be in the denominator? The total number of something, right? Here, the denominator will have the total time that is taken. Okay. And here, if you observe, it is an instantaneous value that we know. I is equal to I naught sine omega t. This I is instantaneous value. I naught is peak value, right? Then you take a small rectangle here of thickness dt. Then the current in this portion can be written as, sorry, the area of that portion can be written as I into dt into integral of 0 to capital. So the formula for average value is defined as integral of instantaneous value of current into dt over the time interval at which you're trying to define it. Can be 0 to t or t to 2t or t by 2 to 3t by 2, something like this. But the initial and the lower limit and the upper limit should have a difference of capital T. Okay. So between 0 to t, that is for one complete cycle, we are going to calculate the average value. So this will become 1 by t into integral of 0 to t. What is the value of I, guys? I is I naught sine omega t dt. So this will become I naught divided by capital T into integral of sine omega t dt between 0 to t. So I naught by t into, what is integral of sine omega t? It is minus cos omega t divided by omega between 0 to t. So this omega will also come out minus I naught divided by omega t into cos of omega into capital T minus cos 0. Okay. Minus I naught divided by omega t into cos of omega is 2 pi by capital T into T minus cos 0 is 1. So T and T will get cancelled. What is cos 2 pi? That is also 1. So this is 1 and this is 1. 1 minus 1 will give you a 0. So an important point to be noted here is the average value of AC over one complete cycle is always a 0. Write it down.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, why did you take a rectangle in the positive half cycle, sir?
You can take it in negative also.
No, sir. Why did you take a rectangle, sir, in specific?
Because you will take, see, you need a constant value to write. So what I'm trying to say is, see, x1, x2, so on till xn are there. Let's say n data are there in your hand. How do you find the average of it? X average is equal to
Sum
x1
of
plus xn the
total.
whole divided by n. Correct? So this you will write it as sigma I is equal to 1 to n xi the whole divided by n. Can I write it like this?
Yes, sir.
So sigma is generally used when you have discrete values in your hand. You will use integral when you have a continuous value in your hand, right? So when you talk about a continuous value, see, for example, discrete value, you know what is the difference between x1 and x2? X1 is a different number, x2 is a different number. Whereas when you talk about a continuous value, at every instant the value is changing if you look at the graph. So we need to define a small interval dt where the value of y is also constant. That is why I called it as a rectangle. Actually, if you see, the graph is like this, right? That is when you zoom and see. But if I take 2 points very close to each other, infinitesimally small points, I'll get a rectangle. So what I did is, instead of xi, the data I have in my hand is idt. What is idt actually? Idt is nothing but
Instantaneous.
the area of the small rectangle that I consider. So the height of the rectangle is I and the width of the rectangle is dt. That is the reason I took it as idt. So integral of idt, so sigma is replaced with integral. I is equal to 1 to n is replaced with 0 to t, and xi is replaced with idt, the whole divided by the total time, that is character. That is why this became the average value. Okay.
Sir, but I is not constant, sir.
I is not constant, but I is constant for the time interval dt. That is why we took that.
Sir,
area.
so you only took for that one.
I took one
Lambda,
small
sir.
rectangle, I took one small strip, and I integrated such strips. You will be able to understand this concept only if you understand applications of integrals. Because the integration is basically used, especially definite integrals are mainly used for finding the area made by a curve with x-axis or y-axis. Fine. To find the area made by a curve with any one of the axes, you do follow definite integration. Okay, that is what I applied. Till you know that concept, you have to just accept what I told. Maybe once you learn that point, you will understand this thing better. If you see, I didn't tell you one more point also. When you integrate sine omega t, I didn't tell you why omega comes in the denominator. Right? It is because it is a reverse process of differentiation. Integration is a reverse process of differentiation. So you will understand it better only if you know integrals.
I have a doubt, sir.
Tell me.
So when we say one cycle, it means everything that has happened from the start till it rotates and comes back to its original position, right?
One cycle is one positive cycle and one negative cycle. It need not be between 0 to t alone. It can be between t by 2 and 3t by 2 also. Or it can be between t and 2t also. Are you able to understand?
Yes.
So one cycle, complete cycle basically means 1 half cycle and 1 full cycle.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So this is the outline. You guys just revise it today. Since the average value over a complete cycle is 0, we will define it over some other interval. What that interval is and what is the definition of all those things, you will understand better tomorrow. But as I told you, ensure you revise this chapter then and there. Don't hold it. Okay. Or else it is going to be tough. So revise and come guys for tomorrow's class. Okay.
Yes.
Any other doubt?
No doubt, sir.
So we can wind up.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Will we be having